Hey everyone, it's Andrew Nagel. We're back again to show you the bezel setting of a fully finished bezel. This is one without the divots on the sides like I showed last time. So you're going to need one of those flat bezel pushers. I'll leave a Rio item number in the description here. But basically what you're going to do is start on one side, and then you're going to need to start on the opposite side of that, and then rotate 45 degrees and do the opposing sides of what you just did. Going to example that now for you. So start just on any side. It really doesn't matter. You could even start at the top and then just work, the bottom after that. I'm starting on the side here. And then what I'm going to do after I've gotten a little bit pushed down is go over to the next side and push those down. Then I'm going to move. You can either do the top or the bottom. I'm just going to move to the bottom at this point. Start pushing this end down onto the stone. You got to be gentle, and you just use a rolling motion as you see there. I'm just putting the flat end on the bezel, and there's a nice handle on the end of this, and you just got to roll that flat end over the bezel and just roll that bezel over the stone. A nice rolling, a slight pressure. Don't want to add a lot because you never know if you might slip off the bezel and hit the stone. So you just want to do a light pressure and add a little bit of a rolling. A rocking motion also helps to push that bezel down over onto the stone. Another tip is to have the bezel only be 1 millimeter, over the sides of your stone. You don't want it over the top of your stone. You don't need a lot of bezel to hold a stone into place. You just need a little bit and just push it over the stone and it'll hold it in secure. So as you can see here, there's these little kind of waves forming on the corners. That's why you do the opposite sides first, because if you started at the bottom and just started working to the side, you'd have this weird little wave develop once you get to the end of it that you wouldn't have anywhere to push down. So when you do it this way, you can push those waves down and work them into the spaces that they're supposed to be in. If you have just one wave at the end of it, you're not going to be able to flatten that down, and it's going to have this weird fold of metal at the end. So this is the best way to keep an even bezel going all the way around your stone. This could also be applicable to pendants, and so yeah, if you're setting one of your pieces into a bezel plate for the back plate, then you could use the same techniques to make sure that you're not getting that weird wave of metal at the end of it. Getting that last little wave pushed in. It's starting to look pretty good. The stone is very secure in there. I can still hear a little bit of wiggle. One thing I like to do is just kind of shake the piece around with my hand a little bit. Just make sure any moving parts aren't moving. They're just secure in your hand. So that way if you hear any noise, the stone is just a little loose. Don't do that to any weak stones, obviously. This moonstone could handle it, so just shake it around a little bit. And once I don't hear any noise anymore, then I know the stone is set in there. So one thing I'm also going to do to this piece is kind of give a more finished look to the bezel. So I'm going to take one of these curved bezel pushers and push around the edge of the bezel. And I'm going to, it makes a nice little finished edge on the top of the bezel, right where it sits onto the stone. It also kind of thins out that metal a little bit, and then allows you to go back over the bezel and push it down a little bit more to make it more secure. You can also get a nice little edge around the stone with your polishing wheels and your tips for your Dremel tool or your flex shaft if you have access to that. So I'm just going to finish that up around the stone and give it a nice little angle there. This also adds a reflective edge to it, and so if you get good enough with this tool, you can add a nice polished edge to the top of your bezel, and you don't really have to worry about polishing it. I would, just to remove any of the other tool marks and stuff, but if you can start to get to the point where you just run this around your stone, you can leave a very, very nice finish on the top of your bezel. So I hope this was informative to you all. I hope you have a great weekend as well. Thank you all so much for the support of this channel. I really, truly do appreciate it. If you've been enjoying these metalsmithing videos, please let me know in the comments and I'll make more of them. If you want to see more wire stuff, let me know as well, because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next week, so leave me some ideas in the comments and I'll make it happen. Thanks everyone, have a great day.